What's up, everybody? It's CMP with Craftmaster Productions and Studio1tutorials.com. Don't forget to stop by Studio One Tutorials. Pick up your premium membership. It's 50 cents a day. Also, please don't forget to stop by CMP Kits. And if you're interested in being like me and the creators of CMP Kits, you want to stop by Studio1tutorials.com/sample class to get your sample and business game all the way up. Now, today we're going to be looking at how to make your beats sound more professional without having to worry about doing a lot of mastering, putting a whole bunch of plugins on the stuff. Going to be using free plugins, either Studio One stock plugins or the free plugin by D16 Group called Frontier. The sounds in this are from the Pupil J. Cole, the off-season pack, available at cmpkits.com. So if we look at our level meter, we're hitting like 11 LUFs. You want to get between like -11, -9 to get a really loud, full, professional sounding mix. And all I'm using is the just a free limiter inside of Studio One. But what makes this process be able to work is not what we're doing at the end, but it's what we're doing throughout the whole thing, right? So I've produced a mixing cheat sheet. I updated it. I didn't update any of the information. I just updated the look of it so you guys could see it here over my shoulder. And what the mixing cheat sheet is just a guide on how to level your beats. Because we're making, hip hop, whether it's boom bap hip hop or whether it's trap style hip hop, right? It's still going to revolve around a sub bass. The way that sub bass has a relationship with the kick, the way that kick has a relationship with the snare, right? And what these levels that I'm showing you on the mixing cheat sheet are, their relationships, right? So there's a -6 dB relationship between the kick and the snare and the 808, right? And then there's like a 12 dB relationship between the snare and the instruments, depending on how you want them to sound. The point is, we use all of the same sounds, guys. We use the same sounds. They're all the same sounds. So it's not like where you hear rock engineers talking about like, well, every mix is different, because for them every mix is different, right? The way that they mic the guitar cabs and the way that they mic the drums and the different drum sets and the different play styles of the drummers and stuff like that, it's going to be way different. But for us, you're going to be able to get repeatable results by having this starting point. And I want to stress that it is a starting point. You kind of key these levels in, and I do it with my template. Like, these levels are already set before I even write a part or a pattern. So you key these levels in, and then if you're listening to it and you're like, what, I think the kick could be a little bit louder, well, then from there you can boost the kick a little bit louder. But what it allows you to do is, one, you're having a lot of headroom on your master bus. So first, the stuff's going to sound a little low. That's what the limiter or the soft clippers are for, right? And then on top of that, so you're giving yourself headroom. You could use your plugins and everything. Everything's going to work out great. And then, say you're listening to your instrument bus, and you're like, man, I can't hear the instruments. Well, in this case, all you got to do is turn them up, right? When you work in your DAW, it doesn't matter what DAW it is, but when you work in your DAW and all of your levels are, hitting at 0, you have no room to turn stuff up, right? So when you do start turning stuff up, you wind up clipping your plugins, causing aliasing. The plugins don't sound the way that they're supposed to, and you're just like, how come I'm using all the same stuff as everybody else? Why doesn't my mix sound the same, right? So trust me, use the cheat sheet. I've got, over 30,000 people I've shared this with. I've never had a complaint about it. The only complaint I've ever had is like, oh, the kick doesn't sound, as loud as I would like. And then you tell them to turn it up and they're like, wow, that's all I had to do was turn the kick up. So I'll show you right here. If you look at my drums, just like look at the hits. So like for example, mine is hitting at -6. My snare is hitting a little bit higher. That's where you have the wiggle room, right? You don't have to zoom in and make sure that it's exactly at -12. I want to stress that to you guys. That is really, really important for you to understand. For example, my instrument bus over here, right, where I reference in the cheat sheet. It's peaking at -12, but it's averaging around -24, right? So again, once you have all of these levels set, it's going to sound more like this. So our main channel is peaking at like -7. That's going to be real low. So how do I make it loud? How do I make it sound big and professional, right? Well, you can just grab, if you're using Studio One, you could grab the stock limiter. And the reason why I'm using this is because it has a soft clip function in it, right? So this is what a lot of the guys in FL Studio do. They have, they're like, oh, I don't master my beats. I just use the soft clipper, right? We have this very same plugin inside of Studio One here. So what you want to do when you load it, it's going to have this true peak clip. What you want to do is you want to click that off. You want to click soft clip. Go to this function right here to I'm sorry. So you just want to go ahead and make sure that you've got your plugin turned on, right? You can use whatever limiter you like. I like the peak RMS. Not limiter, whatever meter you like, right? I like the peak RMS. It's what I've been using forever. And the gain is going to be turned all the way down. You can leave these alone for now. Like a normal attack, just leave everything like it is. And then all you got to do is just find a loud part of your song. And you're going to want to see that white line right there get to like -6. And that's it. You're using a soft clipper to create loudness. It's not the same as like hard limiting. You notice you don't hear a lot of ducking. The kick isn't backing away. It's just kind of rolling off those peaks and making everything a little bit louder. And if you don't, like if you're in Logic or something like that and you want to use another product, this is a free limiter. It's by D16 Group. It's called Frontier. You want to make sure that you don't use the limiter. You want to turn that threshold all the way down. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that this soft clip is turned up. And then all you're going to do is just crank this volume knob. And then just back it off and make sure that you're not peaking. And that's it. Like, so use the mixing cheat sheet. That's going to be your key for leveling all your sounds. And then to get the loudness, just simply use a soft clipper. And this is going to be super easy. If you get into a situation where you do make a beat and say you make a connection with an artist and you send them your 2-track like this, and they're like, man, my engineer is telling me that, the beat is too loud. Can you fix it? All you got to do is take these plugins off, bounce it to them, and be like, here you go. Here's the uncompressed version. And that rapper, singer, and engineer, they're going to thank you, because now you're going to be able to provide them with a 2-track that can actually be mixed and be made to sound the best that it possibly can. So it's a CMP. If you guys liked any of the sounds for this, go to CMP Kits, get yourself a copy of the off-season drum kit with the drum MIDI. You guys keep it simple, but don't be basic, and we'll see you on the next one.